Our planet is facing a great challenge. The climate is changing and the air around us is warming. This is happening because we release too much carbon dioxide, a gas that traps heat. For many years, we have searched for ways to solve this problem. We have looked to the sun for solar power and to the wind for turbines. But another solution lies hidden, deep beneath the ground. It is a technology called carbon capture and storage, or CCS. It offers a way to take this extra carbon dioxide and put it back where it came from, safely locked away from the atmosphere. It is a remarkable idea, born from necessity. The idea behind CCS is quite simple yet powerful. Imagine a factory with a large chimney. Instead of letting all the smoke and gases rise into the sky, we can capture the carbon dioxide before it escapes. Think of it like a filter that catches only this specific gas. Once captured, the gas is turned into a liquid under pressure. This liquid can then be transported, much like oil or water, through pipelines. The final step is to send it deep underground into special rock formations that have held oil and gas for millions of years. It is a way of returning carbon to the Earth's embrace. This is not just a theory, it is something that has been tested. One of the most important tests happened in a small, quiet town in Germany called Ketzin. For many years, scientists worked here on a pioneering project. They wanted to see if we could truly store carbon dioxide underground safely and for a very long time. The Ketzin project was not a giant industrial plant. It was a careful scientific experiment. It was a place of learning, designed to answer our most pressing questions about this new technology. It was a hidden hero in the fight against climate change, working silently beneath the fields. What made Ketzin so special was its purpose. It was not built to make money or to power a city. It was built for knowledge. The scientists were like detectives, studying every detail of the process. They chose a very specific location, a deep layer of salty rock called a saline aquifer. This type of rock is like a giant sponge full of tiny spaces. It is sealed by thick layers of clay above it, acting as a natural lid. The goal was to inject carbon dioxide into this sponge and watch it very, very closely. They wanted to prove to the world that this method was not just possible, but also safe for people and for the environment. The Ketzin project began its work far from the public eye. It was located on the site of an old natural gas storage facility, a place already understood by geologists. This was a clever choice. The ground here was already well studied, and the local community was familiar with underground operations. The project was deliberately small in scale. It was a research site, a place for careful observation, not a massive commercial operation. This allowed the team to focus purely on the science, without the pressures of a large industrial plant. It was a quiet laboratory, dedicated to understanding one of the most important questions of our time. The mission at Ketzin was clear and focused. The primary goal was to demonstrate that storing CO2 deep underground could be done without harming the environment. Scientists wanted to track the carbon dioxide once it was injected. Where would it go? How would it behave? Would it stay put? To answer these questions, they set up an incredible array of monitoring tools. It was like giving the Earth a checkup. They used special sensors to listen for tiny sounds, to measure pressure, and to take samples of the underground water. It was a detailed, patient investigation into the world beneath our feet. The process itself was a marvel of engineering and geology. The team drilled a well nearly 800 meters deep, reaching a layer of porous sandstone. This sandstone was filled with very salty water, making it unsuitable for drinking, but perfect for storing CO2. Starting in 2008, they began to inject the captured carbon dioxide. It flowed down the well and spread out into the tiny spaces within the rock. The pressure was carefully managed to ensure the liquid CO2 filled the rock formation gently. It was a delicate operation, guided by immense scientific knowledge and a deep respect for the natural world around them. For years, the work continued in this quiet corner of Germany. Most people in the world, and even in the country, never heard of it. Its small size and research focus kept it out of the headlines. There were no giant cooling towers or sprawling industrial complexes. There was just a small, neat facility and a team of dedicated scientists. This quietness was its strength. It allowed the project to proceed without controversy, to gather data, and to build a foundation of knowledge. Ketzin was a place where science could work patiently, providing the answers we needed before taking the next big step in our climate journey. One of Ketzin's greatest achievements was proving that we can monitor stored carbon dioxide with incredible precision. Storing something you cannot see deep underground requires trust. The scientists at Ketzin built that trust through technology. They developed and tested a whole suite of tools to act as their eyes and ears beneath the surface. They used seismic surveys, which send sound waves into the ground. By listening to the echoes, they could create a map of where the CO2 was spreading. This allowed them to watch the plume of carbon dioxide move and settle, almost as if it were visible. This constant watching was essential for safety. The team needed to be absolutely sure that the CO2 was staying where it was supposed to be. The thick layer of clay rock above the sandstone, known as the cap rock, was the main barrier. The monitoring systems were designed to detect even the tiniest leak long before it could ever reach the surface. They tested the soil and the air regularly for any trace of the injected gas. Over the entire life of the project, from injection to the final closure, no leaks were ever detected. This was a triumph, a powerful demonstration that nature's containers, when chosen carefully, are remarkably secure. The project was also a training ground for a new generation of scientists. Experts from all over the world came to Ketzin to learn. They shared knowledge and developed new techniques. This collaboration was crucial. The challenge of climate change is global, and so the solutions must be too. Ketzin became a hub of expertise, a place where the best methods for monitoring and verifying CO2 storage were perfected. The lessons learned here have been shared far and wide, helping to shape safety standards for future projects around the world. It created a blueprint for how to manage these sites responsibly, but the journey was not without its challenges. The technology for capturing and storing carbon is expensive. Building the facilities and running the monitoring systems requires significant investment. This cost remains a major hurdle for making CCS a widespread solution. Furthermore, there is often public concern. People worry about the safety of storing gases underground. They have questions about potential earthquakes or leaks. The Ketzin project showed that these risks can be managed with good science and careful regulation. But building public trust is a slow and essential process that requires open communication. When the injection of carbon dioxide at Ketzin stopped in 2013, the work was far from over. The scientists continued to watch the site for years, studying how the CO2 settled into its new home. This final phase was perhaps the most important. It showed that even after the operations cease, the storage site remains stable and secure. The careful closure of the well and the restoration of the land demonstrated a full life cycle for a storage project. It provided a complete story, from beginning to end, of responsible stewardship. This legacy of safety and reliability is Ketzin's greatest gift to us. The story of Ketzin matters because it gives us hope. It shows that we have more tools to fight climate change than we might think. While renewable energy sources like wind and solar are vital, technologies like CCS can also play a crucial role, especially for industries that are difficult to decarbonize. Ketzin proved that the concept works. It moved carbon storage from an idea on a blackboard to a proven reality. It tells us that with ingenuity and care, we can develop powerful solutions to our biggest challenges. It is a reminder that human curiosity and scientific endeavor can lead us toward a better future. Yet, projects like Ketzin often remain hidden from public view. We celebrate the soaring wind turbine and the gleaming solar panel as we should. But the quiet, patient work happening beneath the ground is just as heroic. For these technologies to truly help us, they need public understanding and support. We must talk about them, understand their complexities, and discuss their role in our energy future. Awareness is the first step towards wider action. Learning about these hidden champions can inspire us and broaden our vision of what is possible in protecting our precious planet. Ultimately, the Earth has its own remarkable systems for balancing the climate. For millions of years, carbon has been cycled between the atmosphere, the oceans, and the rocks. Our industrial world has disrupted this delicate balance. Projects like Ketzin are an attempt to learn from nature, to use our knowledge of the Earth's own processes to help restore that balance. It is a story of listening to the planet and working with it. The quiet fields of Ketzin hold a powerful message. The solutions we seek may sometimes be found not in the sky above, but in the ancient silent world that lies just beneath our feet.